Chairman Stile, Ranking Member Morell, distinguished members of the committee, thank you for the honor of testifying. I'm president of the Capital Research Center, which studies how special interests engage in politics, especially through nonprofits. As people from across the political spectrum know, confidence in our elections needs strengthening. Your right to single out private funding of election offices, which was a scandal in 2020 and continues in the 2024 cycle. We at the Capital Research Center have published online all our data on the private funding of the 2020 election by the Center for Tech and Civic Life, or CTCL, the main conduit for the so-called Zuckerbucks. I don't want to relitigate the election, just learn from it. A few data high points first. The percentage of CTCL money that went to jurisdictions Biden won in the battleground states are Arizona, 75% Democrat, Pennsylvania, 83%, Michigan, 86%, Wisconsin, 90%, Georgia, 94%, Nevada, 100%. Mr. Chairman, in your state of Wisconsin, CTCL gave out 188 of its minimum $5,000 grants. It gave out 31 larger grants, 3 to counties, 28 to cities. 20 of those 28 cities were won by candidate Biden, only 8 by candidate Trump. Those 20 Biden cities received 90% of CTCL's dollars in your state. A similar grotesque skewing is seen when we compare the per capita spending in those over $5,000 grants. The average per capita spend in Trump jurisdictions, 55 cents. The average in Biden jurisdictions, $3.75, nearly 7 times higher. No wonder the majority of states now ban or restrict such private funding of election offices. No wonder every single governor who's tried to thwart his democratically elected legislature's desire to ban such funding has been a Democrat. No wonder the Wyoming Secretary of State wrote all his county clerks warning them about CTCL, its desires past and present to influence elections with, quote, misleading tactics, and its possible funding from foreign sources. In my home state of Virginia, the opposition to such funding was unanimous in the Senate. Neither party wanted out-of-state billionaires controlling our elections. Yet CTCL ignores this widespread opposition to its agenda and turns instead to ever more insidious schemes to influence elections. Its response to criticism is merely cosmetic. The same day newspaper headlines announced Mark Zuckerberg said he'd never repeat his 2020 election funding, CTCL announced an $80 million rebrand of itself as the Alliance for Election Excellence. The latest effort to ensnare local government offices is no less objectionable. The Honest Elections Project has documented the Alliance's infiltrations of 2 North Carolina counties where CTCL aimed to provide in-kind services that may escape existing private funding bans, and also aimed to receive in-kind services from government offices, including data on voting and offices' internal operations. More recently, CTCL has been discovered scheming to have local offices seek federal disaster funding from FEMA, presumably because the federal government has even more billions than Mr. Zuckerberg, and because this, too, may circumvent private funding bans while promoting, as one observer put it, quote, the same sort of technical, data-driven, and activist-led manipulation of the election system in favor of Democrats that CTCL mounted in 2020. CTCL will claim it just wants to help Americans vote, but consider a Super Bowl analogy similar to the chairman's. Election offices are the referees of American elections, and the parties are the teams trying to score. If you heard the refs in the Super Bowl were aiming to boost the total points scored, would you feel better about the game's fairness? What if you learned the refs were receiving money and training from people who previously worked for one team's offensive coaching staff? Most Americans would say, wait a minute, scoring points is the job of the teams, not the refs. And if the refs were being influenced by alumni of one team, confidence in the Super Bowl would plummet. Well, the people who founded and still run CTCL came from a group the Washington Post gushed was, quote, the Democratic Party's Hogwarts of digital wizardry. Unknown during 2020, CTCL also received $25 million on top of Zuckerberg's millions from the Democratic Party's biggest dark money network, run by Arabella Advisors, and every year receiving millions of dollars from the foreign billionaire Hans Wies. I don't want either party's operatives playing the refs, and I know Americans won't be confident in elections as long as this scam continues.